份除咗想唞下氣之外，最重要嘅其實都係想從中攞返生命裡面嘅平衡點，得到啟發，之後再繼續生活。
The aesthetic of life, how long have you got? I think if you had one word, it's like balance.
Discovery and inquiry, the spirit of finding things.
Always inspired by nature, and I think the closer we come to it, and we're reminded, the closer we're in contact with nature.
馬除咗靚同埋高貴之外咧，亦都係一種好有靈性嘅動物啦。咁如果我哋要揾到 balance in life 咧，其實人、動物同埋大自然都係不可分割嘅。而馬亦都係同人類咧一齊走向文明嘅 companion， 所以同佢一齊去揾生活嘅美學就最啱啦。
傳統嘅馬術運動、刺激嘅賽馬同埋享負盛名嘅 equestrian event 都可以喺法國揾到。坐落喺塞納河隔離嘅 Longchamp Racecourse 係世界上數一數二嘅馬場，所以入場嘅觀眾唔會淨係為咗賭錢，遊客同埋小朋友都可以入嚟欣賞駿馬嘅美態。馬嘅速度同埋力量令人着迷，但係佢流暢嘅線條同埋多變嘅神態，同樣係藝術家想捕捉嘅影像。英國攝影師 Flach 就係捕捉駿馬神髓嘅表者啦。
So Tim, why do you choose horse as the main focus of your photography?
Because a horse is inextricably linked to our heritage. It is one of those unique relationships that we have with an animal. The dog also is important, but the horse is, it took us to warfare, it supported us. It's always seen as something that is, in a sense, echoes through our artistic culture. So the horse is inextricably linked to us. And today we move from what was a working animal to for pleasure.
Tim 並唔係希望淨係影出一堆靚相，而係透過相片令人反思，所以佢會將動物人性化嘅一面呈現喺觀眾眼前。於是照片就會比較細膩同埋有幽默感，呢一種先係高一層次嘅攝影美學。
And through your lens, which aspects of horse you wish to present to your audience?
I want to surprise the viewer where possible, to take people to extend their experiences. And I did that very much in my project by maybe being underwater, or maybe being on a treadmill right behind a galloping horse, or being in the air, or going to a location that perhaps people don't have the opportunity. Even though they may work with the animal, they may not see what a horse embryo looks like. Or it might be concentrating on a detail of the horse that evokes a kind of poetic space.
And as a horse lover, can you describe horse with 3 words?
I suppose you do have the sense of power, of elegance, and I suppose classicism, simply because that suggests the past, what we bring, and the purity of line.
將大自然融入我哋生活，再變成藝術，係一門學問。Kenneth 就最擅長用天然嘅物料去做戶外嘅家具，好多住宅物業、酒店同埋荷里活電影都有用佢嘅設計，令到我哋嘅屋企都感受到大自然嗰種味道。
How would you describe your taste and style?
I think it's, I always think about how people want to be outside even when they're inside. I'm inspired by things that I grew up with, like this sofa reminds me of knitting, my grandmother's knitting, and so that's how I, design my pieces.
Is it true that the materials for outdoor furniture are so limited because it needs to be high maintenance?
Yeah, yes, that's true. That's true. There's a very limited selection of what you could put outside because of the sun and rain. And so the challenge is always to find something new, something very different from what's out there.
Then with those limited materials, how would you give a luxurious touch?
That's the secret, and that's the challenge, I'm always inspired by nature, and I think the closer we come to it, and we're reminded, the closer we're in contact with nature, the more we're reminded of the things from our childhood, from our travels, from the things that we love, and so it's reflected in my design aesthetic.
Kenneth 嘅設計出名大件，個露台冇返咁上下大都裝唔落佢嘅家私，但係又想屋企有升級嘅品味。咁就可以參考下英國 designer Hoppen 做嘅室內設計啦。佢幫過威廉王子、David Beckham、Elton John、Jude Law 等名人明星做 interior design， 今次可以去佢 workshop 探班之外，最興奮就係可以參觀佢嘅屋企啦。
Hi Kelly.
Hi. How
Nice
are
to
you?
meet you.
Nice to meet you. Welcome to London.
Thanks for inviting me to your office.
It's a pleasure.
It's gorgeous here.
It's crazy. It's a mess, but it works. There's always a lot going on, lots of people working, so lots of things.
So how would you describe your taste and style?
My style is very zen. It's very spiritual and it's very harmonious. I love order, and I've always been really inspired by the East. My first book was called East Meets West. So the fact that I'm now working in Hong Kong and in Asia is very exciting for me because it's where my spirit is fueled. It's what I love about design, the fusion of the global influences.
And you always work for the celebs, right?
Not all celebrities, but we work for a lot of celebrities, and you know, everybody's the same. It doesn't matter if you're well known or not. Everybody, their home is very important to them, and for me, it doesn't matter who I'm working for. It's the joy of actually creating a fantastic environment for people to live in, because I feel that it's very important that it's where you fall asleep, it's where you wake up. So your home is very much the importance of who you are.
Then can you recall some memorable experience designing a house for the famous?
I don't really talk about my clients unless they talk about it, but everyone knows that I designed the Beckham's home in Los Angeles. We had a very, very short period of time to do it because they were moving from England to Los Angeles. But I think one of the nicest things for me was that David had never even seen the house. So when he arrived, it was the first time he saw the house and it had been done. And they were all running around very happy and my team were there and it was a great moment. But you know, the best bit of my work is meeting the client, designing it, and then presenting it. So at the end, that's what I love.
What do you think is the most important element when designing an apartment?
Understanding what your client wants.
Nowadays, time is money, right? Spending time to do what is considered priceless to you?
Just to have time is priceless, for me anyway. And, you know, for me, the most important thing in my life is my family and my children. So it's having the time to be with them and to be with friends. So again, it's all about balance. You know, I love working, but I love to not work. So it's about finding the time and the balance to do both. And so time is priceless.
品味，與其我哋一味向前衝，去 fulfill 一般人對靚嘅認同，倒不如我哋翻轉頭，認清楚自己想要啲咩，咁先至可以享受到自己獨有嘅生活美學㗎嘛。